All right, looks like someone is ready to become best friends with their data.
Data governance, right?
You got it. You sent us so much material, including Ira Warren Whiteside's book on the topic.
A great resource for sure. Data governance is key if you want your data to work for you, not against you.
Totally. So consider us your data Sherpas. We'll unpack all this great material for you, especially those scripts and templates.
Love those. And, the book starts with something called the Information Value Chain, the IVC.
Okay, so that's like,
It's a map for your data, kind of.
it shows you where the data comes from and where it's going.
Right, from the raw data to the final insights that drive your business.
Okay, I like that. So it's kind of like a recipe.
A recipe.
Yeah, like first you collect your ingredients, right? That's like data collection.
Yeah.
Then you got to prep and cook them, like cleaning and transforming your data. And finally, you end up with a beautiful, insightful dish.
Visualizations and reports.
Exactly.
I like that analogy. Makes it very understandable.
And speaking of helping things along, have you noticed AI and machine learning are everywhere now?
They're not just buzzwords anymore. AI is really changing the way we manage data.
Right. It's like AI can be your sous chef in the data kitchen.
I like where you're going with it.
So like AI can handle the chopping, the stirring, all those time-consuming tasks.
Like data prep and analysis. That frees you up to focus on the insights.
Exactly. AI can help us get insights faster and more efficiently.
Exactly. But you wouldn't want your sous chef just throwing things together without knowing what they are, right?
I guess not.
AI needs clear instructions, and that's where metadata comes in.
Oh, right. Metadata. Can you remind me what that is again?
Think of it like labels on your spice jars. They tell you what's inside.
Where it came from, how spicy it is.
Right, so metadata tells you what your data is, where it came from, and how it connects to your goals.
So without it, you just have a bunch of unlabeled jars.
Yeah.
And your AI sous chef doesn't know what to do.
Exactly. And to manage all that metadata, the book introduces a metadata mart.
A metadata mart.
It's basically a library for all your data knowledge. You can store and organize all your metadata there.
Makes sense. So everyone in the organization can access it, right?
Exactly. And everyone knows what the data means, which is key. No more confusion.
Yeah, everyone's speaking the same data language. So how do you actually build one of these metadata marts? Seems complicated.
It can be technical, but the book actually offers some guidance, even scripts in T-SQL.
T-SQL.
It's a programming language used to manage data in Microsoft SQL Server databases.
Okay, so it's like the instructions for building our data library.
All right, blueprints.
Pretty cool. So we've got our data flowing through the IVC, AI helping us out, and a metadata mart to keep it all organized.
A great foundation.
But what about data quality? What if our ingredients are past their expiration date?
That's a great point. The book really stresses that data quality is super important.
Because
If your data is flawed, your insights will be too.
like using spoiled milk to bake a cake.
Yeah,
Disaster, right?
exactly. You won't get good results.
So how can we make sure our data is fresh and reliable?
Well, the book actually offers a whole toolkit. Lots of techniques and metrics to ensure data quality.
A data quality toolkit. Tell me more about that.
So it's like a set of tools, methods for cleaning your data, validating it, and enriching it.
So our data is accurate and consistent.
Yes,
So it's like a data inspector who checks all the ingredients before we start cooking.
exactly.
I like that. And to make this even better, the book talks about business glossaries and metrics. What exactly are those all about?
So a business glossary, it's like a dictionary, but for your data.
Okay, so it defines all the key terms.
Exactly. Make sure everyone in the organization is on the same page.
So we all agree on what revenue means, for example.
Exactly. No more confusion. Consistency is key. And metrics are like your compass,
They help us measure success.
Right. You can track your progress towards your goals.
Makes sense. But creating a glossary, defining all those metrics.
Sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah.
Well, remember those scripts and templates you mentioned?
Oh, yeah, from the book.
It has a ton of those, specifically for glossaries and metrics, so you don't have to start from scratch.
That's a relief. Speaking of making things easier, the book also talks about automation.
Oh yeah, automation.
Yeah.
Your secret weapon for efficiency.
Because manual data processes are
They're slow, they're prone to errors.
and tedious.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The book talks about automating tasks like metadata tagging, metric calculation, even updating ERDs.
Wait, remind me, ERDs?
Entity relationship diagrams. They show you how data is organized and connected in your systems.
Right, like a blueprint.
Exactly. A blueprint for your data.
And automation can help keep those blueprints up to date.
Precisely. It handles those repetitive updates so you don't have to.
Wow, that frees up a lot of time. But even with all this automation, we still need humans, right?
Of course. The robots aren't taking over completely.
Mm.
The book emphasizes a balanced approach. Automation empowers your team. It doesn't replace them.
So it's like a collaboration.
Exactly. Humans and technology working together.
I like that. But what happens if we have some bad data, even with the best tools?
That's where those data quality techniques come in. And the book actually has a really interesting case study about a logistics company.
Okay, what happened?
Well, their shipping data was a total mess.
Uh-oh.
Packages going to the wrong places, customers were unhappy, it was costing them a fortune.
Sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah. So they finally decided to get serious about data quality.
What did they do?
They cleaned up their data, they standardized addresses, implemented validation checks.
Did it work?
Oh yeah, their shipping accuracy improved drastically. Customer satisfaction went way up, profits rebounded.
Wow, that's a great example of how important data quality is.
It can make or break a business. And to actually implement a data quality program like that, the book provides this really helpful framework. And it all starts with understanding the dimensions of data quality.
Dimensions. Data quality has dimensions.
It's not just one thing. You have to think about accuracy. Is the data correct? Completeness. Are there missing values? Consistency. Is it formatted the same way everywhere? And timeliness. Is the data up to date?
Okay, so it's like a checklist for our data. Make sure it's in top shape.
Right. And the book provides specific metrics and techniques for measuring each of these dimensions.
So let's say we've assessed our data and found some issues. What's next?
Well, then you got to develop a plan to address those issues.
Make those improvements.
Exactly. And this is where the book gets really hands-on. It offers specific steps for data cleansing, validation, and enrichment.
It's like taking our data to the spa, pampering it.
Haha, I like that. And guess what? There are open source scripts and tools in the book to help automate these processes.
So we can give our data a 5-star treatment without breaking the bank?
Exactly.
Okay, that's fantastic. But once our data is all nice and clean, how do we make sure it stays that way?
That's where data governance comes in.
Okay, so data governance.
It's about setting up some rules, some policies, to ensure data quality is maintained over time.
So it's like a set of guidelines for everyone to follow.
Precisely. And the book goes into the nitty-gritty of data governance, defining roles and responsibilities, setting data standards, implementing data quality controls.
Sounds like a pretty big undertaking. Is it really necessary for everyone?
The book argues that it's essential for any organization that uses data to make decisions.
Which is pretty much everyone these days.
Exactly. A strong data governance program can really help you mitigate risks, improve efficiency, build trust in your data.
It's not just about checking boxes then. It's about creating a data-driven culture.
Yes, where everyone understands the importance of good data.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yep.
But the book goes beyond just the practical side of data governance.
Oh, absolutely. It takes us on a journey through the history of information technology.
History. Okay, tell me more about that.
It starts way back in the 1840s with Ada Lovelace.
Ada Lovelace, the first computer programmer.
The one and only.
Wow. So what does that have to do with data governance today?
Well, it shows how those early concepts in math and logic, they laid the foundation for everything we do with data now.
So even though the technology has changed so much, the fundamental principles are still relevant.
Exactly. And the book then traces the evolution of business intelligence, BI, and artificial intelligence, AI.
Showing how they both shaped how we use data.
Right. They're not completely separate things. They're part of a continuum.
Okay. So where does AI fit into all this?
AI is like BI, but supercharged.
Supercharged.
Yeah. AI can process massive amounts of data. It can identify complex patterns.
It's taking BI to the next level.
Exactly. But even with the power of AI, you can't forget about data quality.
Because garbage in, garbage out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Even the smartest AI is only as good as the data it's given.
So good data governance is crucial for both BI and AI.
Absolutely. It's the foundation for everything.
So you're saying you don't have to start from scratch when integrating AI into your business?
Not at all. You can build on what you already have. Enhance your systems with AI.
Sounds less daunting that way. But where do you even start?
The book suggests identifying specific use cases, areas where AI can really add value.
So start small.
Right. Experiment. Learn as you go.
Don't try to boil the ocean.
Exactly. And the book also talks about building feature stores.
Feature stores, what are those?
Think of them as libraries for AI models, pre-engineered features ready to use.
So it's like having pre-built Lego pieces. You can quickly assemble different AI models.
That's a great way to put it. It makes AI development much faster.
Okay, so once you have your AI models, what do you do with them?
Integrate them with your BI dashboards and reporting tools.
Hmm.
That way, users get a complete picture, historical and predictive data.
So they can make better decisions.
Precisely.
Hmm.
But as AI gets more powerful, we need to think about the ethical side too.
Right, because AI can be biased.
The book talks about that. It's about transparency, explainability, making sure AI is used responsibly.
So I don't just blindly trust it.
Exactly. Human oversight is crucial.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. But the book dives even deeper into the technical details of data modeling and transformation.
It really is amazing how it goes from those big picture concepts to those really practical steps.
Right. Like, I thought the chapter on dimensional modeling was super interesting.
Yeah.
So they've been using that in BI for a while,
For
right?
years.
And now it's being used for AI, too.
Exactly, for feature engineering.
It's like the same tools are used to build, like, a normal house and a spaceship.
I like that.
Mm.
Dimensional modeling is all about structuring data so you can easily analyze it.
Get insights.
Right. And it turns out it's perfect for getting data ready for AI.
Cool. And the book even gives you templates for dimensional modeling.
It does. Even a sample dimensional ERD like a blueprint.
That's really handy, especially if you're just starting out with data modeling.
Absolutely.
But dimensional modeling, that's just one piece, right?
Right.
What about the ETL process?
Yes. Extract, transform, load. Getting data from all those different sources, cleaning it up, loading it into your data warehouse.
It's like a data assembly line.
Perfect analogy. And the book walks you through each step of the ETL process.
It even gives you open source scripts for dynamic scaling.
From Scott and Ira themselves.
Wow. So you have the experts guiding you.
Exactly. Super helpful, especially for organizations dealing with huge amounts of data.
And need to scale up quickly.
Yes,
But even with those scripts, even with automation, you can still run into problems, right?
definitely.
How do you make sure your data pipeline is working right, getting good results?
Data quality checks, that's key. And validation frameworks.
So you can catch those errors early.
Yes, before they become big problems.
It's like having quality control inspectors along the assembly line.
Exactly. Making sure everything meets the standards. And to keep track of all those transformations happening, the book talks about data lineage tracking.
Data lineage,
Yeah.
what's that?
Being able to trace where your data came from, how it was changed along the way.
So if something goes wrong, you can figure out what happened.
Exactly. Like a GPS tracker for your data.
Love the analogy. It really brings it all to life.
Well, you're asking all the right questions.
Making sure we understand how this applies in the real world.
And speaking of real-world applications, the book goes on to talk about how different industries are using AI.
Oh, yeah. To automate tasks, make things more efficient.
Right. Even create totally new products and services.
That's where it gets really interesting.
Absolutely. It's one thing to talk about the technical details, but it's another to see how this stuff is actually being used.
To make a difference.
Exactly. The book has some great examples like AI-powered chatbots
Changing customer service completely.
or algorithms that help doctors diagnose diseases earlier.
It's amazing what's possible.
It is. But AI is getting more powerful all the time, and we have to think about the ethics too.
Right. AI can have biases, like we were saying.
Exactly. The book delves into that. The importance of transparency, making sure people understand how AI is making decisions.
We need human oversight, right?
Absolutely. We can't just let AI run wild.
So it's a balance, technology, and human judgment.
Exactly.
So as we wrap up, any final thoughts for our listener?
Well, I think the biggest takeaway is that data is a powerful tool.
Well,
Every organization needs to understand how to use it effectively.
and that means good data governance.
Absolutely.
Building a framework that makes sure your data is accurate, accessible, and helping you achieve your goals.
Right. And as AI becomes more common, data governance is even more important.
Yeah.
We need to make sure it's used ethically.
And the book really emphasizes that we need to keep learning.
The data world is changing so fast, we can't just stand still.
Keep exploring, trying new things. Don't be afraid to experiment.
Exactly.
It's not just about the technical stuff either. It's about being curious, always wanting to learn more.
I agree. And you don't have to do it alone. There's so many resources out there.
Online courses, communities, even events.
And of course, the book itself.
Yeah.
Tons of practical advice and examples.
Even code you can use.
Yeah, a great starting point for your own data journey.
So to our listener, we hope this deep dive has given you some new ideas and some inspiration. Data governance, it's a journey, not a destination.
Keep learning, keep experimenting, and see what amazing things your data can do.
Maybe you'll even write your own book someday.